So my next guest is comedy legend Jim Davidson. He's got a pint in his hand already. Look, he's non-stop with this.
It's my fifth one.
Jim, thanks for coming. It's an absolute pleasure to see you once again. Look, you've been through the mill.
Yeah.
In the game a long time, comedy. Changed from the 70s to the present day. Maybe things that you said in the 70s and 80s, well, say 80s and late 80s, you probably couldn't get away with some of the stuff that you said then. Well, I still think they're funny. My parents do. Yeah. But it's a different age, isn't it?
Well, it is, but I think people set out to get offended, you know, Lee. I don't think offence is given, it's taken, isn't it? And I suppose that someone's going to get it, aren't they? If you're a comedian, someone gets it. There's either taking the mickey out of someone else or taking the mickey out yourself. Yeah. If you can just talk about things, about people, you know, because it's really weird. They say, oh, you can't tell jokes about this person, that person, this person, that person, this person. But then, we're all the same. We're all equal. So what's all that about? But I try to bring people together. That Chalky character that I did in the 70s, that's how everybody liked him. Yeah. He was always the winner. He was never the bad guy. You know, that's how it backfires because people say.
But you can't tell the Englishman, Irishman, Scottishman jokes anymore because I don't think you can. So we spoke previously about some of the shows and the films that came on in the 60s and 70s, the Carry On films. Yeah. Some of the double entendres, the names, I mean, that used to make me... It still makes me laugh, Jim. I mean, do you watch these films and still laugh?
Yeah, I don't think you can make them now because the art of innuendo's gone totally. Yeah. Everyone's filthy comedian. Everyone have some lines. I'm just as bad as anyone else with that. But I still think they're funny. And I still think Tom and Jerry's funny. Yeah. Some people don't like that because of the violence in it.
Well, Laurel and Hardy is my favourite.
And me.
Yeah.
And did Charlie Chaplin make you laugh?
No,
nor me.
No, I can't watch
he didn't. No, but Laurel and Hardy.
I mean, not just the slapstick stuff, but some of the humour, the actual words they spoke is very, very clever for the time of day. That was absolutely brilliant. It's my go-to if I'm feeling a bit down in the dumps. Yeah. I'm on my phone. On YouTube, obviously I put Jim Davidson in, but it's normally Laurel and Hardy and a bit of Rising Damp. You couldn't get away with Rising Damp these days, could you?
I don't think you can get away with a lot nowadays. And of course, these programmes don't get made anymore. I've just made another series of comedians for Ustream. And that was all the old guys telling jokes exactly how they used to tell them. The audience is falling about laughter. Yeah. People are signing up in their droves because they miss that comedy. And if you look at it with an open heart and an open mind, you know it's not really causing offence. It's not set out to cause offence, unless you're a bad comedian.
So, Jim, you're a veterans champion. Mm-hmm. And a lot of my friends that served in the military, they rave about you and think you're a great man. What got you into that?
75 quid. I got paid 75 quid to go to Northern Ireland for 3 days. I didn't know there was any troubles in Northern Ireland. I thought they were just based there. And I did these shows. They were fantastic. And then I went to Cyprus, 200 quid. And then I just got used to working. I was about the same age as the average squaddy. And then, of course, the Falklands War in 1982, I was quite famous then. So I wrote to Margaret Thatcher saying, "Dear Prime Minister, I'll now work for the troops for nothing." Yeah. And so that's it. They took advantage of that. So I wasn't particularly funny, but I was cost effective.
Yes.
That was it.
So how do you feel, Jim? I mean, I spoke about this last week with Phil Campion about you see veterans 98, 100 years old that are celebrated and applauded, and rightly so for the things they did in the Second World War. But you see some parts of the media now attacking our current veterans for something they may have done in places like Iraq and Afghanistan. And obviously we've seen the horrible things in the Daily Mirror that they printed about 20 years ago, attacking our brave young men.
Yeah, I think there was a guy called von Clausewitz, wasn't he? He was some expert. He was German, so what he knew about war, I've no idea. But he said that only people that have been in war understand war. And you get a lot of these armchair generals and people, all that stuff. There's so much disinformation going around about veterans. What we have found when I formed Care After Combat is that we have possibly 8,000 veterans in prison in this country. Yeah. I don't know what it is, 4%, a bit less maybe, 4,000 or 5,000 prisoners. Not one of them has said the MOD or any battle has made them break the law. Yeah. You know, it's just circumstances. I don't think there's as many homeless veterans on the street as the newspapers say.
No.
I think the veteran, of course, he needs help, and of course that he's given his time and put his life on the line.
But their needs, the ones that are on the street, and I actually agree with you, and there's not as many who say, but the ones that are on the street, it's not just a case of giving them a bed, is it? It's much deeper than that.
Yeah, it's having a word with their wife and say, let him back in, will you?
But it's about getting inside their head as well.
Yeah, you've got to get inside their head. Yeah, there's a lot of mental illness out there. It's strangely cloaked by the media saying everyone's got PTSD. Well, you have to be careful because there's a lot of mental illness out there that's not related to PTSD.
Yeah, I think there is. I mean, we see...
And alcohol, of course, is a big problem. I got in trouble for saying it a while back. There is obviously a lot of people, not just military with the PTSD and anxiety and mental health problems. I see a lot of that in my job. Mm-hmm. But there's also a few people playing on that as well. It's become the new bad back, in my opinion. Well... I'll make no comment. I made a comment about that once as well. I did actually say that, you know, you get the odd person in civilian life and in military life that says, oh, I'm suffering from PTSD. And they're not. Yeah. But they don't know they're not. Yeah. They're suffering from something else. Yeah. So, you know, cut them a bit of slack, I think. And it just makes me laugh. Some of the older veterans, if you were to walk them down to Folkestone and see these immigrants coming ashore, they'll say, hang on a minute, why did I bother? Yeah. You know, why did my mate Denzel, you know, lose a leg in battle? Yeah. And to see these people just, you know, walking up the beach, basically giving us the finger. So
you spoke about your comedy heroes of yesteryear, which is people like Laurel and Hardy. But what about today? Which comedian you see on TV and think, oh, I'm watching that?
Yeah, well, Dame Edna Everage, I really like Dame Edna Everage because, and that was the great art of innuendo. A lot of the young guys, I'm not too sure about, to be honest with you. Mickey Flanagan's quite good, I believe, but they're to entertain young people. I'm 70 years of age. I'm not supposed to laugh at young kids, and they're not supposed to make me laugh. Every comedian has their generation of audience, and that generation will grow up with them.
Cancel culture, Jim. You've been cancelled recently, haven't you? What's all that about?
I've been cancelled a lot. They even cancelled the adverts for Ustream on Sky. They won't play. No, we're not playing that. No, it's wokeness gone mad. And you're not cancelled by the people that want to come to see you. You're cancelled by some secretary that works in an office somewhere that's never seen you anyway, just doesn't like the idea of it.
Who are these people that lay awake at night thinking of these silly things to do or say the following day? I don't know where they come from, Jim.
I don't know where they come from. Yeah. They sit there and think of ways that they can be upset. And they want to live in an idealistic world where everybody's lovely.
Yeah. Well, I think what they don't understand is people of your generation and my generation, and certainly my parents who are approaching 80, they're from a different generation. They've got old-fashioned feelings, if you like. They're not racist, they're not homophobic, they're not transphobic. No. They're just of their day, and we have to respect that. How they were brought up. They were taught and brought up that way. But today we're cancelling all of that. That's not fair.
I know. You can be cancelled all over the place. It's crazy. But you know, as we can't be. I got cancelled by the BBC. They give me £1 million to go away.
Did they?
Yeah, and then the ex-wife took it. But apart from it was in and out that deal really quick.
So your ex-wife's running around with some around BBC licence fee?
Well, I've got such a lot of ex-wives. It's very difficult to keep track on the thing. Okay. But no, that was the BBC. They cancelled me basically because I voted Conservative, and they didn't like the idea of someone like that working at the BBC.